Hello and welcome. This is Jennifer McGuire. So today I have a product release close-up video along with many ideas. Now I don't do these release close-up videos much anymore. I only do it if there is a release that I really think is fun to get a close look at. And this new one from CHristams Stamp is really fantastic. They just had Stamptember. So I thought they would have a small release, but this one in October is just fantastic and packed full of some unique products, some really unique things. So today I'm going to walk you through all of those products so you can get a closer look. I think it's easier to see it in someone's hands than on a screen. And I will be providing card ideas and links to technique videos that I think will work with each particular product. I did this for my Stamptember video and people seemed to really like it, so I thought I'd do it for this release too. So I will show you the new product, a card idea with a technique that I think would work for that new product, and then all you need to do is go below and you can find links to each of those videos. So you find the product and underneath it will be a link to a video that I think would work great with that product. I'm hoping that by putting this time into it, it gives you a better idea of how you can use these products and if you want to take a closer look at any of them. And for some extra fun, be sure to go to my blog. I'm giving away a $100 gift certificate to CHristams Stamp. It's a personal giveaway, so be sure to check that out. Okay, let's get started. I think this time I'm going to start with background cling stamps because I really like a lot of them in this release. I'll go through all the different categories and be sure to stick through it because there are many unique products. Okay, first up we have the modern poinsettia stamp. This is one that you could use for the holidays, but you could also use it year-round. I like background stamps with styles like this where they're a thin lined pattern and lots of open space because it works great for a lot of techniques. One technique that I think would work really well with this is to do iron off embossing. I did a video showing how if you do heat embossing of a background stamp, then iron it off onto another piece, you can get two images. And that's what I did for the card over there on the right. So below, if you find the modern poinsettia stamp, below it will be a link to the video so you can check out this technique video that I think would work great with this particular stamp. This next one is really unique and I love the look of it. It's called Chunky Sweater. Now this would just be nice as a tone-on-tone look on a background just for a little something interesting. Or you could do maybe like a pearl embossing powder over a color or even just white heat embossing on white. This stamp would be lovely with the monoprint technique that I've done a few times in videos. This is where on one piece of paper you heat emboss the background stamp. Then apply lots of distress ink over it, spray it with water, and smush it against another piece of cardstock in your die cut machine. And you end up with two pieces that are beautiful. It would work great with this stamp. Okay, next we have the gift boxes background stamp. This would be fun for a simple card where you just do gold heat embossing on red cardstock. You could even make your own wrapping paper by stamping it repeatedly. However, I think it would be fun to also do a heat embossed layered background. What you do is you cover a piece of cardstock with gold embossing powder and then stamp this stamp on top of that embossing powder and then heat emboss that with silver. So you get a two-tone heat embossed background like you see with the example here. I really like combining gold and silver for the holidays and it would work great with this stamp. Next we have the all leaves background stamp. This is one of those you can use all year round and maybe just change up what you add to it to make it work for different seasons. I really like the detail to this. Now the technique that stood out to my mind would be to do a trapped emboss because there's so much detail on this. What you would do is cover a piece of cardstock with different colors of distress ink or dye ink, whatever you want, and then you clear heat emboss this background stamp over it. Once you've heat set that, you take a bit of water and wipe away some of the color. The dark true color stays trapped under the embossing, and you get a lighter look around it like you see on the background of this card. Another thing I really like about this background stamp is there is an autumn leaves clear stamp set that coordinates with it nicely, so you can stamp the individual leaves to use on that background. And I'll show you a closer look at this stamp set later in this video. Next we have the All Snowflakes background stamp. This is a reverse stamp, so the background of the image is what stamps. So you can do really fun techniques with this, and I think it would be beautiful with pigment powders. This is a really easy technique. All you do is stamp the background stamp with Versamark ink on any color cardstock, and then brush on pigment powders. And that's what I did for the card over on the right. So you would have this really shiny background, and the snowflakes would be whatever color cardstock that you used. So easy to do, so be sure to check out the video. It would work great with any of these background stamps, but especially this one, since the background is solid. Okay, there are a few new center cut background stamps in this release. I really like center cut stamps because the inside pops out, so you can use these separately or together. I also like that this doesn't cover an complete background, so when you've stamped this, it almost looks like you stamped individual stamps, but it only took one stamping. There is also the center cut holiday floral, and this one has the word peace in the inside, and again, you can rotate this and stamp it any way you want to on your card. You can also swap out the sentiments between the two stamps. They are the same size. Okay, there is also this center cut fall leaves, which is my favorite of the background stamps. That heart comes out from the center. I really like the design of these leaves coming out from the center, and you can cut individual leaves out and use them as accents on the card also. I will be using all of these background stamps in my next video, so stay tuned for that. But if you're looking for ideas for center cut stamps like the ones I've shown you here, you can check out my color blocking video. These are great for doing simple white heat embossing on white cardstock and then applying blocks of ink over that, like the example you see here. There are also a few clear stamps in this release along with coordinating dies. So I'll go through those and then we'll move on to dies, and some of the dies are my favorites. Okay, so first up we have the Autumn Leaves set that I showed you earlier. It coordinates with the Autumn Leaves background stamp. Now in this, it's a 6x8 stamp set, so there are a lot of different leaves in this. In fact, you could pick up this whole stamp set as is, ink it up and stamp it and have a fun background. Love doing that. It's a great way to create a background quickly. I also like that there is a coordinating die set available, and those dies could be used on their own too. Now what I would like to use for this is with my alcohol inks. I would create maybe like an autumn color background, with golds and greens, just a basic alcohol ink background. Then I would clear heat emboss these leaves on top, and then apply some blending solution or rubbing alcohol to the top to remove some of the color. Anything under the heat embossing is trapped, like you see in this background here on this card. So I have a video that explains that process. It's really easy to do, and especially fun if you like to make a bunch of alcohol ink backgrounds at once. Then you can turn them into cards with this technique, and these leaves would be great for that. And don't forget, there is the background stamp that goes with it too. Next up, we have a tongue twister, and I had to try saying it a few times. It's the Santa Sleigh Ride Slider stamp set. So that town image there stretches across a card, 5.5 inches wide. So you can just stamp that, a sentiment, and Santa in the sky, and you have your scene done. But you can also get the coordinating die set, which has slider dies. So you can make Santa and his reindeer go back and forth across your card. So here's a closer look at the die set. There are 2 sliders, so you have options for how you put the card together. You could even double stamp the town to go across a slimline card. I think you'll be seeing a lot of examples with this, and this is the one that Lila says she wants to use the most. Okay, if anybody knows me, they know I love CZ Design Sentiment stamp sets. This is good cheer. It's a large 6x8 stamp set, so these are good size sentiments. I like that they can fill a card. At Christmas and the holidays, a lot of people want to make cards quickly because they're making so many, and these big sentiments are great for that. I'll be using this in my next video. I really like the wishing you joy, peace, love, and joy that you see there on the bottom left. One fun idea for this set would be to do the pop-up card like you see on the right here. Instead of a balloon, do an ornament. Have one holiday sentiment on the front. When you pull the tab, it flips up, and you see another sentiment. So that would work great with that technique, and I've got that video below. Okay, all my cat-loving friends out there, here we have the Feline Christmas Spinner stamp set. So this has lots of images to create many different scenes. But what's special about it is it has the front and the back of an image. So you have the front of the cat and the back of the cat, and they match up. So you can make spinner cards. These are cards when you open them, the image spins around. So being able to see the front and the back of the image is important. I did a Z-fold spinner card design in a video. You can see it here. So when it's closed, you see the front of the image, and you wind it up before you close it so that when they open it, the image spins and you see the front and the back. So this is a great set designed specifically for techniques like this. As you know, slimline cards are very popular right now. So here we have the Holiday Sparkle Greetings stamp set. Now those words are almost 8 inches long. So they're great for slimline cards, or if you like to make 5x7 cards, this will stretch across that. Or you can use these on regular size cards too. I like having the option. There's all the little sparkles and stars that you can put with it too, and there are coordinating dies available. What I'm most excited about for this is that it can be stretched across a larger card and just put on top of whatever die cuts or stamping you want. For example, here is a slimline card. To make that sentiment almost feel like it was stretching across the card, I had to do 2 words next to each other. But with using the stamp set that you see here, it would stretch across the card more. You could also team up the word Merry with the Christmas die cuts that I'll show you later in this video. I also think it'd be fun to stamp that happy and then just use another stamp set and just stamp birthday underneath it. And that way you can make this stamp set work for you all year round. Okay, so now it's time for dies. I'm always excited about dies, and there are several fantastic ones in this release. And I do die cut everything so you can see what it looks like. Sometimes it's hard to tell from the die itself. So here we have the large written Merry Christmas. And by the way, I do have a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch piece of cardstock there on the screen all the time, so you can get an idea of the sizing. So this one is nice and large and very detailed, so it can be the focal point of your card. You could use any of the background stamps and background stamp techniques that I talked about earlier, and then just simply add this to it. I love that the shadow is included, so it makes the sentiment stand out more. I die cut this with some Pink and Main blue glitter cardstock. I'll link to that too, and it really makes it stand out. I sometimes think that if you have an intricate die and some specialty cardstock, that's all you need for a simple card. Okay, next up is Warm Hugs. I really like this one. I like the style of it, and I like that it's almost square, so you can do a lot of things around it. You can see what it looks like on a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card. Now for this example, I die cut the shadow with white cardstock, and then I used a holographic cardstock for the warm hugs. That allows it to pick up whatever color cardstock is behind it. That's the fun thing about the holographic cardstock. I'll be using this in my next video also. I also really like the classic design of the Alleluia die from CZ Design. You have the shadow and then the word itself. I die cut it from white cardstock and then the word from a gold shiny cardstock. It has such a classic feel to it. My next video features that one and also this Thankful for You. This is a unique die set. You have the rectangle with the For You attached to it, and then the Thankful block. So from this, you can use the Thankful and just the letters themselves, the individual letters, or the block that says Thankful, or use it all together and do Thankful for You. I once again did white cardstock and then gold shiny cardstock on that. Next we have the Slimline Christmas. Earlier I mentioned that that large script Merry word would work great with a Christmas die, and that's this. This is a long die cut. It's like almost 6 inches long, I believe. So it's great for a slimline card or a 5x7 card. Look at the detail of that. I used some holographic blue cardstock on a white. Now this die does cut the outline letters, so you have the center letters, the outline, and the shadow that is all cut by that die set. Then there is the CZ Design Simple Ho, so you can do Ho Ho Ho. And you'll see in a moment there is a fantastic Santa set that would be great with this. This also would be fun to do a quick Ho 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 on a tag to attach to a holiday gift. Now, I am a sucker for snowflake dies. I love intricate snowflake dies, and here we have the Sophie Snowflake on the left and the Daphne Snowflake in the middle. These are named after Christina's cats, and you can see the great detail to these, and they look fantastic layered on top of each other. Now, with an intricate, beautiful die like this, I always like to use a specialty cardstock. Like in the example I have here, the snowflake is done with a beautiful champagne glitter cardstock, which brings these detailed snowflakes to life, and these snowflakes would be great for that. And I'll link to that video below too. So you can incorporate these snowflakes with the all snowflake stamp set I showed you at the beginning of this video too. These snowflakes will be used on a few cards in my next video. Okay, next we have the Poinsettia Ornament. This is a really neat die. So it cuts the circle for the backing of the ornament, and then you have the detailed outline of the ornament with the pattern. So I cut the solid circle from holographic cardstock, and I used white for the outline die. So you could do glitter cardstocks in there. It'd be fun to even do a rainbow inlay, and you would have a colorful ornament. I recently did a video where I did a belly band ornament, where the belly band of the card held onto the ornament and then could be easily removed. This die would be fantastic for that, and it would be so fast to make using a die like that. So you can check out that video, but I also will be using this in my next video too. I kind of went crazy with the dies from this release. Okay, another fantastic one is the geometric Christmas tree. Look how beautiful that is, and it fits fantastically on a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card, but it's big enough that you could use it on a 5 by 7 too. I just cut it from green glitter cardstock, but it would be fun to do the heart and the hearts in it. You can see the 3 hearts in the center and the star in different colors. Now, I think this would be fantastic for the reverse impression technique with dies. In the example you see over to the side, I first made an impression with the back of the die. Then I used the die cut and glued it right on top of it. And you get this really cool faux letterpress layered look. And it would work great with this geometric tree too. Now, a fun and really playful die set in this release is this Santa Man. So this cuts the hat, the beard, the mustache, and 2 different types of glasses you can add to him. I just think it's fun to have that missing face like that. I just think it's so clever. This would be fun to glue these pieces like onto the top of a wine bottle to give somebody, or you can use it on a holiday tag. I think there's going to be a lot of creative uses of this. You could even cut those pieces from felt. You could stamp Ho 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 underneath it from that CZ Design Good Cheer stamp set that I showed you earlier. Or you can use the Man, the Myth, the Legend stamp set that coordinates with it also. So there are a lot of fun ways that these products can all be used together. Gnomes are also very popular right now, and here we have the Deco Hat Gnome, and I think he's so cute. I like how tall and thin he is, so you have room to do some stamping next to him. I also like the details in the hat, so you can make it really colorful if you wanted to, and I did some quick die cutting and assembling in different colors of pool cardstock. To go along with the gnome is the mushroom house die, so you can get this too. And Simon Says Stamp does have other gnome dies too, so they can all coordinate together. And here we have a dog die. This is the Lil Critters Corgi die. So I cut him out of a few pieces of scraps, and you can see what he looks like on a note card there. Now this you could add a cute little party hat to. You could even take the gnome's hat and add it to the dog for something fun. It's fun to combine different dies like that. And the last die set is the Merry Online. So there are the dies that you see over there on the right. It's a line with part of a letter on it, and you can cut it from scraps of cardstock and glue them together. Now I'm doing it super quick here just for an example for you, but I just did different pinks, reds, and greens, and I'm building up the word Merry. And then I will glue that onto a card. This is an excellent way to use up scraps. So there you can see what you end up with. Now, you could make the Merry be straight, or you can have it higher on the card or lower on the card, because the Merry on the line dies are long. So you can see the dies here. They could extend across this 5.5 inch card with no problem. So they could also be used on a bigger card too. Okay, now it's time for stencils, and I am really excited about the bigger stencils that Simon Says Stamp has come out with. Now these are about 5.5 by 8.5 inches of workable space, a little bit less than that. Here's a 4.25 by 5.5 inch note card so you can kind of get a size idea here. This stencil is called I Like Big Dots, which I think is hilarious. But the nice thing about having a bigger stencil is it's great for things like gel press, which I did in a video recently, and there's a card from it. This stencil would be fantastic for gel press. These bigger stencils are also good for 5x7 cards, or if you like to do slimline cards. So having bigger stencils gives you many more options. Here's another of the larger stencils. This is the Mega Wrap Stripes. I believe they have a Wrap Stripes that is a traditional size stencil. Now this one would be fantastic for gel press also. All of these larger stencils would be great for that technique too. If you haven't seen my gel press video, I recommend you checking it out because it is a fantastic way to spark your creativity, and it's an inexpensive tool that you can use over and over and over again. Here we have the Slimline Scene Builder. So you have like little slopes here. You have the circle for the sun or a moon. You have the ray, so you can do sun rays and different clouds. So you can see how it would make a large scene on a typical card, or you can use it on a slimline card. Now, I did a video 7 years ago, and I'll link to it. It's kind of embarrassing, but I did it 7 years ago, and I talked about stamping little dots, little circle dots, into a stencil to create a scene. And this Scene Builder stencil would be excellent for that technique. Okay, next we have the Mega Deco stencil. I believe they had a traditional size stencil in this pattern also. Now what I want to do with this is a gel press technique where I first do it once in one direction, then I rotate the stencil and do the gel press technique again, so you get a new pattern. I did a rotating stencil technique on the card example that you see here, and it would work great with this stencil too. It's amazing how sometimes just double inking a stencil with rotating it between creates such a different look. Okay, next we have the Circle Mask stencil set. So I believe there are 5 different stencils in this set. Yep, there's 5 there. And these are all different size circles. So you can place this on your card and do inking through that. You can stamp through that. It's nice to have these that are reusable that you can use over and over again. And the positive masks, the circles themselves, are included in the set. Now I did a video some time ago where I did masked stenciling, where I created a mask and stenciled over it. And this card is an example where I created a heart mask and stenciled over it. Well, you could use these circle masks for the same thing. Next, we have my favorite of the stencils from this release, the Falling Leaves Layering Stencil Set. There are 5 stencils here, and you can use them together to create a really colorful background. I'm going to demonstrate it very quickly for you and give you a little tip. When I use layering stencils, I like to use my MISTI stamping tool. In fact, you could even, if you wanted to, use the corner of your scoreboard for this technique too. But what I do is I put a sticky mat inside of my MISTI stamping tool. And I will place my piece of cardstock onto that sticky mat, and it'll stay put there as we do all of our inking on our stencils. Okay, so let's start with my first stencil. You can pick any one to start with. I'm using an Altenew small blending brush for this and some Altenew dye ink, but you could use any inks that you want to and any inking tool. So I'm applying the ink over the first stencil. I put the stencil into the corner of my stamping tool, and that way each time if I put my stencil in the corner, it'll line up nicely with the next stencil to create the nice background without any overlapping. So here is the second layer stencil. This time I'm using a red ink. There is a stencil in this set that has the entire pattern, so all of the different things combined. And you can use that as a guide to line up your next stencil if you're unsure how to rotate it. But it really is easy to figure out. So here we are with our third layer. Once I'm done with that, I'll switch to the fourth layer, again putting it right into the corner. Apply some brown ink, and there we have our inked background. Takes very little time at all. Now you could leave this as is, but since it includes the stencil with the openings, all of the openings included, I thought I'd put that on top, just line it up with the stenciling I've already done. And now I'm putting Gina K glitter glitz on top. So now all the colored areas will have some sparkle to it. So I gave that a little bit of time to dry, and then check this out. Look how beautiful that is. It doesn't take much time at all. All you need to do is add a sentiment to it. The thankful for you sentiment that I showed you earlier would be perfect on this. I really like layering stencils because of the colorful looks you can get, and I like that they include the stencil with all of the openings so you can apply the glitter over the whole piece. This next stencil is very unique. This is the Bold Merry Christmas stencil. This is one where you would want to lay it down on a piece of cardstock and then do some fantastic spray over it. I think distress spray would be the best. You just spray over the stencil, then carefully remove the stencil and let it dry. You can even add splatters of gold if you wanted to. If you're not familiar with the really cool effects you can get with distress spray, I do have a video linked below with this product that you can check it out. There's a card example. You can see how beautiful the background is, and it would work really well around this Merry Christmas stencil. Now there are a few traditional size stencils in this release. Here we have the geometric arcs. I think it'd be beautiful to ink this up, shift it up a little bit and ink it with another color, shift it up again and ink it with another color, and get a really neat offset look. Here we have Paver Blocks. This one you can ink and then rotate and ink again, and you end up with what looks like Rubik's Cubes. It's really cool. I like stencils like this that can be used for one layer or multiple layers for different looks. And then we have the Chunky Sweater stencil, which goes along with the Chunky Sweater background stamp that I showed you earlier. A lot of detail to this stencil. Okay, next we have other fun products with this release. There are a few really fun things that I wanted to be sure to share with you. These products can be used with or without foil, but I wanted to show you how it is with foil because they're fantastic. I'm using Thermoweb Deco Foil. And we have the Christmas sentiment strips that it comes in white, red, and green. Now you can use these as is with the black text, or you can apply foil to it. So I cut out one of those sentiments. You've seen me use sentiment strips many times in my videos, but you can also foil them instead of leaving them plain. So I laid a piece of gold deco foil on top of the sentiment strip, ran it through my hot laminator, and check this out. It gives you a beautiful foil impression. So anytime you see me use a sentiment strip in a video, you can foil it. They also released these acetate sheets, some more of these. This is the Falling Snow acetate sheet. It's clear with black printing. If you lay deco foil on top of the black printing and run it through your laminator, then you get a beautiful shiny image. So you could use the acetate as black, or you can use a colorful shiny image, and these laminate beautifully. Here we have the Merry Christmas acetate sheets. This one I ran through with red foil, and watch how beautiful this is. Lots of detail to it. So you can add this onto your card, and it gives you this beautiful foil overlay. And by the way, there are four sold in a pack, so you would get 4 of the Merry Christmas acetate in a pack. There is also the Believe acetate sheets, so you can see the black text there on the clear piece, running it through with some blue foil, and look how beautiful that is. And I'll be using this on a video coming very soon. Beautiful, perfect foiling, very little effort needed. All you need to do is run it through a laminator. All right, there you have it, a look at this newest Simon Says stamp release. I'm not going to do these release videos very often, only if it's a video that has a lot of different things in it that I think is helpful to take a closer look at. So remember, if you're interested in any of these products, they're linked below. And along with the link to the product, right next to it is the link to the video that I thought the technique would match up with that product well. I'm hoping that's helpful to you and gets you kind of kick-started with ideas of ways to use your products. Again, all of it's below my description, but go to my blog. There's a lot more information there, including that giveaway. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon and have a wonderful day.